Hi there, welcome back to another Service Tools training video. Today we're going to go over products and purchase orders and how it all works together, and hopefully this will be some good information for you. So now let's get right to it. This is our products page. Front and center you can see the products list. This is where you would find all of your products. You can obviously search for different products, whatever you need to do there. You can even set some of these products as discontinued and show them if you need to in the list by clicking this button. Going across here, we do have stock levels. If you have purchased our purchase order and inventory module, you'll have stock levels and par levels that you can play with. We also have a link for the product's website, and you can always select something as a favorite over here. You can also use these checkboxes on the left to select multiple products. And then you can click these little buttons down at the bottom to apply those changes to those selections. So if you wanted to open up a couple different websites at once, you could select 2 different products and click the website button, and it would open both of those pages for you. Now to add a product, this is pretty simple. You can either click this plus icon up in the top corner of the list. You can also go over to the new menu and go to new product, and that will be available in your work orders and quotes as well, so you can get to that quickly. Now to save time, we're just going to open up an existing product that we have here. So we'll just click on that product in the list, and you can see this is all the information that you can enter for each product. So we got the manufacturer model. You can enter the SKU and the UPC code. We are working on integrations with some scanners so that you can actually scan products in and out. So it might be helpful if you do have that UPC code. You can pop that in there too. You can also click this button, and it will ask to use your camera if you're on your phone to scan that barcode, and it will put that barcode in there for you. So kind of a cool feature there. The description here is just kind of the short description of that product, and then the text is a longer description that you can get a little more detail in with. Down here you got your product type. You can enter whatever you want to in there, but you do need to have a product type when you're entering this stuff, and a model year is optional. You don't need a model year. But you also want a service item. The way Service Tools works is that it marries a service item to a product, so that you can just drop one product in, and it'll automatically drop the service item associated with it into it for a nice consolidated line item look. As we went over in a previous video, there's several different ways of setting up these service items, but you do need to have a service item associated with this product in order to continue. So we'll just say hourly for this one. This inventory checkbox just indicates whether this is an inventory item that you want to keep track of, or if it's something more like a consumable. So, for instance, if if this was a TV or something, you definitely want it to be an inventory item so you could keep track of it. But if it was like little connectors or things that you just use up throughout the project, it might not be something that you want to keep track of. So it's totally up to you how you want to do that. Our pricing is pretty self-explanatory. We have our what we're selling that for. If you want to enter MSRP or MAP, you can, and then the unit. So this would be like each or pair or like a box or something like that. So you can choose from those options. So down below that we have checkboxes for whether this product is taxable or not. There's also some settings in the general settings for sales tax, whether products and services are generally taxable in your area, so you want to make sure that that's correct as well. And then this is kind of another override for whether this product is taxable or not. You also have a discountable checkbox. So for instance, with TVs, for example, again, you don't make a whole lot of TVs, and if you apply a discount to products in your quote, you might not want that TV discounted down below the cost that you bought it for. So you might want to uncheck discountable for something that you maybe sell for the same price as you buy for. Now, which vendor you actually choose to order from can always be overridden in the purchase orders, but we will go over that here shortly. We do have options. These are just kind of informational only. Miscellaneous parts or consumables is just so you can keep track of that. If it is a consumable and you're connected to something like Wave or QuickBooks for your accounting software, it will separate that out as a separate line item. We'll go over that in a future video. Your favorite, you can always select this as a favorite to add it to a separate list. So alongside your products and services list, you also have a favorites list. If you use the same thing frequently, that might be a little bit quicker for you to get through. You can also mark this as discontinued. If you do that, it will drop it off of your products list, so you won't have to see it anymore. It'll still keep that product here for reporting and things like that, and you can always go back and undiscontinue it if you need to, but that's there as well. We do also have a feature where you can automatically discontinue products that have not been sold in a certain amount of time, and we'll go over that here in a second as well. So below that, you'll see these various product URLs. Now, when you send a quote to a customer and you have a product URL associated with that product, they'll be able to click on that line item to go to that website to get more information about that product. So that's always handy to have. And if you need to, you can click this button and it'll go right to Google, so that you can copy and paste that link in here. If there is a manual associated with it, you can enter that in here. We don't have one right now, but if the customer decides to sign up for their client portal, they'll be able to access the manual for any of the products that you have installed on their site. You also have an image, so this is for quoting purposes. It'll just be a little thumbnail picture of the product. Kind of makes the line item look nice. And what you want to do here is you just copy and paste the picture. So we'll click find. I'm going to find some vibranium. Here we go. We'll just copy this image and paste it right here, and it will automatically put that little image right there. So nice quick way of getting your images in there. That's usually one of the bigger struggles with product databases is getting the images. So try to make that as easy as possible. So now at this point, we can either just hit the update button to apply the changes, or delete the product, whatever we need to do there. We can also duplicate this product. In case there's a little variation in a similar product, we can just duplicate that and change what's necessary to get through this a little bit faster. So, but for now, we'll just cancel out of that, and we'll move on. So now we can go into a quote. Let's set up a quote here to start with. We can go to the Parts tab over here, and we can grab this little green plus icon and drag that over into here. And that'll drop our product in as a line item, and you can see there is attached labor to this line item. And so at that point, we can edit this and select which kind of labor that is, different various options and choices, and we kind of went over that in the services video if you want to refresh your memory. You can also change any of these product details. The cost here is especially important for profit and loss estimates, things like that, so make sure you do have your cost in there. If you do try to run a profit and loss estimate and there is no cost associated with an item, it will remind you so that you need to have that cost input. So you can do that right here. You can always refresh the information from the database here, and if you do make changes here that you want to save to the database, you can click this button here to do that as well. So we'll just go out of here. We'll save this. Maybe we'll drop in a Hulkbuster Iron Man suit. Again, we need to have a service item associated with this, so we'll do that. And we'll say there's going to be a trip charge for the Hulkbuster, and yeah, looks good. So we'll hit apply there. We'll save that. Now if our customer hopefully goes and accepts this quote, we'll just shortcut it here to show you. What's going to happen is the system is going to see that we need to order these things for that project, and it is going to send us an email outlining what needs to be ordered, and it's also going to, if we go back into our products, it's going to automatically add those items to this purchase order list. So you can see we have vibranium we get from the Wakanda Department of Trade, and we'll just make sure we have a vendor chosen for the Mark 44 Hulkbuster suit. So there we have it. Now if we need to change the cost, if that cost has gone up or down, we can do that right here. And keep in mind that that is only going to change the cost here in the purchase orders list. You'll have to manually change the cost of the line item if you want to get an accurate report of that line item's profit margin. Now another thing that's very cool about this purchase orders list is that if we change our par levels, which is the level of quantities that we want to keep on hand at all times, say we want to have at least 5 vibraniums on hand, we can change that, and anything that is under par will get highlighted red up in here. You can see we got our notification that more vibranium needs to be ordered, so we're well notified of what needs to happen, and that will even update our purchase orders list to reflect that new quantity that is needed. Now if we go up into our shopping list up top here, if anything gets left out, this is going to be a shopping list of everything that you need for upcoming projects and anything to meet your par levels. So if anything gets left out, you'll see this little plus icon, and you can just click on that to automatically add it to our purchase orders list. So now you can see we have 6 vibraniums on order, 1 to meet the project and 5 to meet the par level that we need. So this all looks good to go. we can generate these purchase orders right here. We can view or email those purchase orders off to wherever they need to go. And so we'll just take a look at how that looks. As you can see, you got the company information here, the vendor information here, and then a note to please call and discuss availability, shipping options, etc. So this is what would get emailed over to the vendor if you hit the email button. And you can also hit this button to call the vendor and do it the old-fashioned way. You can also click this PO history button to select a time range and filter by vendors and do other various searches for previous purchase orders. So once we've sent those purchase orders off to their respective vendors, we can mark these items off as confirmed. We can also click this button and confirm all. There we go, confirm all. And now we'll have a date ordered is filled in, and we can enter a lead time once we have that. So that we're all on the same page as to when those products are expected to arrive. We'll say that's going to take 5 days for Vibranium and 45 days for the Mark 44 suit. So now everybody's informed, we all know what to expect, and once we do get those items in, we can mark those as received, either by clicking this individual button or by selecting these on the left and clicking the Receive All button. Now you can see that we have our 6 Vibraniums in stock, 1 for the project and 5 to fill the par level. We also have our 1 Mark 44 suit for the project in stock. And if we check our shopping list, we'll see that our shopping list is empty, that we have purchased everything that we need. At this point, we can also go up to this product staging report, and that will give us a list per project of all the different products that need to be staged for that project. We can mark those as staged, and if there is anything in this list that you do not have yet, it will highlight that in red, so that you're sure to know what's needed for that project and what might still need to be ordered that might have been missed. So this can be a very powerful tool. Now when you mark these as staged, it is just marking them as staged for your information only. This does not affect inventory levels at all because it is only staged. It is technically still in inventory. So once you mark these as staged, though, everybody will be able to see that that has been staged and is ready to go out the door for that project. And once again, you are all informed and know what to expect. Now if we go into our work order and schedule this thing, let's say we're going today at 4 o'clock p.m. We'll just say 2 hours. Some Tony Stark out there. And if we go back into our products page and go to our staging report again, you can see that this is going to be sorted by date. You'll see the closest date is up at the top here, and with further away dates going down towards the bottom. So you'll really be able to see what needs to go out on what dates. Also, when a technician clocks in for the first time of the day, they'll have the option to get their parts list. You can also find that if you go into the Actions menu down to My Parts List. This will give that technician a list of all the different parts that he needs to stage in his van or her van for that day. And they can check this as loaded or not, and that will update on any other technician's list as well. So they'll be on the same page as well, and we're not going to be double staging things, hopefully. And then at that point we can go into our staging report and see that those have been loaded into the van. Okay, so now how this works is once these technicians have loaded these parts in their vans, they're going to go off to this job site and they're going to complete their line items. And once they complete these line items, that is going to automatically take those products and change their stock levels to reflect that that item has been installed and is no longer in inventory. Now, if we decide that that wasn't actually installed or something happened and we uninstall those, those will once again show up back in inventory. So once the line item has been completed, that is when the inventory change happens, and everything, if par levels get dropped below their par because of that, then you'll get more notifications and things will automatically drop into your purchase orders lists, and hopefully everything just stays all synced up. If not, you can always change these manually. But for the most part, we found this to be pretty effective. So now there's a couple reports you can also run regarding products. We obviously have the staging report, which we went over already. We also have inventory reports, purchase order reports, and then here's our shopping list and product staging report that has a shortcut on the products page. So you can also run other various product reports by going up here. The products quoted and sold report is something where you can search for a product, and see where it has been quoted and where it has been installed. So it'll give you a list of all the quotes and work orders that have that product in it. This is helpful in case there's like a recall on something. You can always look back and see who you need to notify of that recall. So that can be handy. You can also run a product sold report, which you can choose a date range. Let's say this quarter, and get a list of the products that have been sold this quarter, along with margin numbers and everything. So that can be handy there as well. We also have a special report that we can run up here in the customer reports under client product reports. And if we enter a contact here, it will tell us all of the products that we have installed on that project. So that can be really handy for troubleshooting, and they'll be able to get this information from their client portal as well, along with the links. If they click here, they'll get a link to that product, and we'll have links to the manuals available for them as well. So that about wraps it up for products. Hopefully this has been really helpful for you. As you can see, we have a lot of really cool automated features in here to minimize the time that you spend in the warehouse counting. So if you have any questions or need help setting this kind of stuff up, always feel free to call our support line, start a support ticket. We have several different ways of getting help there. And once again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.